Political persuasion rarely begins with a statistic. It begins with a story. A grieving mother, a rising hero, a threat on the horizon. These aren't just emotional hooks, they're narrative devices that shape how we see the world and what we believe should be done. Political narratives work because they don't just present information, they give it meaning. At the center of this power is emotional resonance. A budget plan framed as a battle for working families will land very differently than one described in technical terms. Stories translate complexity into clarity, and often into urgency. They frame problems not as abstractions, but as lived experiences, something we can feel, fear, or fight for. This power is explained by what psychologists call narrative transportation, the immersive experience of entering a story's world. When we're transported, we lower our defenses, suspend disbelief, and open ourselves to persuasion. We don't scrutinize each fact, we follow the plot. This makes stories a particularly potent tool for shaping political attitudes, even in the absence of rigorous evidence. And it doesn't stop there. Narratives activate cognitive heuristics, mental shortcuts that help us make decisions quickly. Rather than weighing all the facts, we rely on familiar story structures. Who's the hero? Who's the villain? Is there a clear moral? These structures trigger what Daniel Kahneman called System 1 thinking, fast, intuitive, emotionally charged. While System 2 is more logical and deliberate, it's also slower, and most political communication never gets that far. If a narrative aligns with our values or identity, we're likely to accept it without much resistance. Neuroscience confirms this. Drew Weston has shown that political narratives activate parts of the brain involved in emotion and memory, far more than those used for analytical reasoning. In his words, the political brain is an emotional brain. Meanwhile, classic research by Carl Hovland demonstrated how source credibility, our trust in the messenger, can override the message itself. A trusted figure delivering a compelling narrative can shift beliefs more powerfully than a mountain of counter-evidence. All of this means that political storytelling isn't a soft skill. It's a central mechanism of power. It shapes how we interpret policies, who we blame in crises, and what futures we can imagine. In the contest for public opinion, it's not always the most factual argument that wins. It's the story that feels truest to those who hear it.